Welcome to the RV Rental Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Maxon, and I'm thrilled to guide you through the journey of launching, growing, and managing a profitable RV rental business.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of RV Rental Secrets podcast. Today we're going to share some exciting news, and then hopefully we pluck out some teachable moments and some inspiring insights and thoughts for you guys. So Stacy, I have a big announcement that I want to make here today, and not a lot of people know about it. You ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
But first of all, how are you doing, Stacy?
I'm doing great.
You're doing good? You ready to hit the road in the Fireside fifth wheel?
Yeah, so 10 days from today, we're going to start our full-time travel journey. We're going to be going, I don't know, through like at least 15 states that we're stopping at. And we just got this awesome wrap on our fifth wheel. It has Fireside all over it. So if you guys see us traveling anywhere, feel free to stop and say hi. I'd love to chat with you.
Yeah. Where can somebody see can we put that somewhere on the podcast or notes, or put a picture of that fifth wheel?
Yeah, definitely. I'll share that.
That thing came out looking amazing. Like a full wrap. What is it? A 42, 44 foot?
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly. It's one of those things where they say it's 40 foot, but I think the actual measurement's probably 44. So
okay. Yeah, it sure is. All right, y'all. So without further ado, I am excited to announce 3 of our Fireside franchises have partnered up and purchased one of our large competitors. I'm not going to say where, because I don't even know if I should be sharing this yet. It's like literally hot off the press. I don't even know if the papers were signed yesterday. So, but I just wanted to just kind of talk about that and what we can learn about that as business owners, operators. You know, one of the things that I follow this couple different groups. One of them is called acquisitions.com. If any of you guys out there are marketing geeks, you've probably heard of Alex Hermosi. He just released a book a little while ago called $100 Million Leads. And he is part owner of a company called acquisitions.com. And he just released another cool community called School, SKOOL. But in acquisitions.com, what Alex does, what his framework for his business does, is he will literally teach you for free through a lot of his YouTube and different things. He will teach you how to grow to a 7-figure company. And the reason why he does that is because once you get to your company, he wants to look at your business to see if he wants to come in and invest to take you to an 8-figure company. And he literally he's hundreds of millions of dollars his companies are valued at. Like, he's done this time and time and time again. And what they talk about with acquisitions.com is, I'm giving a lot of free plugs out to this today, is there are so many companies, first of all, so many people that are retiring right now that they don't have a predecessor. They're very good at doing the thing. They're very hard workers, right? This generation that's retiring right now, very amazing work ethics. Like, their word is their word. They built very strong businesses. They haven't necessarily scaled to multiple locations because that wasn't necessarily a strong suit of theirs. It was more just businesses of integrity. And the sad truth is, like, they don't have good exit plans. So a lot of these businesses around the nation are literally just closing. Like, their kids don't want the business. Their kids hoping that it sells so they can get some of the money, but the kids don't want to take over the business. It's just, so anyway, with that being said, there is just opportunity all around. You know, there is opportunity to come in and purchase businesses. And that's what 3 of our franchisees have done. They have literally gone in, they have purchased a 7-figure business with $0 out of pocket at 0% interest rate. $0. I'll say it again, $0 out of pocket, 0% interest rate. What's your thoughts on that, Stacy? Did you know that, first of all?
No, I didn't. Well, I knew, the deal was in motion, but yeah, I didn't know that they got, 0 out of pocket and 0% interest rate. That's amazing. Yeah, I think, something that was on their side, I'm sure, and I'm just going to speculate here, but they're already running successful RV rental businesses, so they have the knowledge they need to kind of make those deals. And then I know, we've done a lot of research in real estate and investing and kind of getting those creative deals and that creative financing. I've learned a lot about that lately in my women's mastermind, which is all about real estate, kind of giving you those tips on how to make that ask.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. That's, the power of partnership, definitely when you're part of a big brand and you've got industry experience and stuff like that, it makes it a lot easier to be able to structure a deal like that. So a couple of things I just want to share in regards to that. Really a couple of lessons that I want to make sure y'all have heard this from me many times before, but when it comes to scaling, there's a couple important things. First and foremost, in my mind, well, not first and foremost. First and foremost, this would be the first and foremost, would be learning to delegate. Because that doesn't matter what business model you're under. If you don't learn how to delegate, you're never going to scale, and you're really going to set yourself up for burnout. If you're doing all the things and trying to build a business, you're going to burn out. There's no way around it, because if you're building a business, that means there's more demand, there's more work, there's more things that need to be done. And at the end of the day, the only thing you don't have more of is time. There's not more time in a day. So you have to learn to delegate. And why am I saying this? One of the reasons I'm saying this is because the business that they're purchasing, this owner, part of why they were able to structure such a good deal is this owner is burnt out. They are just literally burnt out, stressed out, in over their head. And as we were evaluating their P&Ls together and looking over their business model and interviewing them together, we realized, okay, that's one of the huge factors here is these people are burnt out because they're not properly delegating. And then the second thing that we learned is they're not following the OPRV model. For those of y'all that don't know what that means, that's other people's RVs. Like I've shared in many of my videos and our franchise webinar opportunity video, is what God showed me in 2017 was other people's assets was the key to success in this business, because that creates a low overhead business model that makes you recession-proof and so many other things. And unfortunately, what this company did is they went out and they bought a bunch of RVs, which, hey, if y'all have heard my story, I did this in 2016, right after we had our little girl, Isabella, who'll be turning 8 years old this Friday. Literally, we went in, we had the scheduled C-section. I checked mama and baby back into the room, and don't judge me, y'all. I'm an entrepreneur, okay? We do crazy things. And as soon as I checked mama back into the room and baby, I literally drove to the dealership and signed papers on 3 more RVs, okay? I always feel a little bit bad when I say that still. But God quickly showed me other people's assets is the way. And I'm so thankful I caught that revelation, because especially during COVID, we saw many of our competitors go out of business because they had so much overhead.
Yeah, I think that's really important to make sure that you're keeping your overhead low, whether that be using other people's assets or just, knowing your numbers and looking at them each month to make sure that you're not paying for things that you don't need. We take a look at our expenses quite often, because it's so easy to just sign up for like another software or app, and then you don't even use it. And then, you really need to do an audit and take a look at what you're paying for to keep those expenses down. So I'm sure looking at those P&Ls, I'm sure you've seen some things like that too, where they were just having large expenses that they didn't need to have.
Yeah, exactly. And a caveat to what I just said with the OPRV is if you have an exit strategy for your RVs, then it's possible. Okay. So like you look at Cruise America, you look at the big nationwide commercial companies, you look at Almonte, you look at Road Bear. The reason why they run the model that they run successfully is because they have exit strategies. First of all, kind of like they say, in real estate, you need to buy right off the bat. Your numbers need to make sense as you're purchasing. Well, Cruise America, Almonte, Road Bear, they're literally purchasing hundreds of RVs every year direct from the factory and getting them at a fraction of the cost that you and I, Joe Blow consumer, would get an RV at. So automatically, as soon as they're purchasing, they're in a much different position than we are. And then secondly, they have an exit strategy. They literally have retail lots and a huge, massive online presence where they can sell these and exit them, and they know their numbers to a T. they know, hey, once this thing hits 22,500 miles, I can sell it for $47,875. And that's, we're within the margins. You and I, we don't have that same advantage that they have. We don't have the advantage of purchasing at a fraction of the cost and having a massive audience that we can sell the inventory to. And the reason I thought of that as I was saying that was we literally just signed up our third dealership, I think, into the Fireside franchise family. We signed up a dealership in Georgia that this dealership here, they're literally all their units they own that they're renting through Fireside. So they have them factory direct. They have very good pricing. They have a retail lot where they have traffic coming in and out of all day for various purposes, not just renting RVs, but buying RVs. They rent out all kinds of various equipment, stuff like that. They have an established brand and audience. So for them, the model makes more sense. It's a lot safer. But for the average consumer or for the average business owner, like we're talking about, that was just purchased, they don't have that. They bought several trucks, so they had all those payments. They had close to $200,000 per year in overhead and payments, Stacy, in trucks and RVs.
Wow.
That's massive. That's a massive amount of overhead to have. And when, you hit the 2-3 weeks, right when school starts, when things are slow, you still have that month's RV payments, and that month's truck payments, and that month's insurance, and that month's tax and title and license and repairs, and all the things are still there. That's why, especially with the drivables, one thing that drives me crazy is when I'm on the platforms and I see these people with RVs listed for rent, and it's like unlimited miles, unlimited generator usage. I'm like, oh my gosh, you do not know the problem that you're going to have 2 years from now when you go to sell that thing and it's got 120,000 miles on it and it's only 2 years old, and that what you've done as far as depreciate that RV.
Yeah, we even learned that lesson the hard way, like our first year. Well, it wasn't even our first year, but like one of our first RV rental management units was a Class C, and we didn't really know or ask the question at that time, like what mileage should we cut it off at? So I feel like, we probably put more miles on it than we should have. And then when the owner took it back and wanted to sell it, it was a little bit more difficult for them because, it had more than the average user mileage on it. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I learned from being in Fireside and having those conversations with some of the other franchises that were more experienced. Is like, you definitely have to cut things off at a certain time, whether it be what year the RV is or the mileage, to make sure that there's a good resale value there.
Yeah, I have a 2017 Class C sitting right out my office window here. That's got 140,000 miles on it. That was one of the units I went and bought there when my fourth child Isabella was born. And what do we do too? The money's flowing in, right? We don't take all that extra money and throw it towards principal. We just pay the monthly payment on auto pay. And so, hey, lesson learned, life happens for you, not to you. So we learned a valuable lesson that we're able to use to apply and help serve our customers. But yeah, that's just something to be very careful on. There's another company. On that note, another thing I was going to mention is so the company that the 3 franchisees just bought, the owner of that company had reached out to me saying, hey, we're selling our business, which when they originally reached out to me, my franchisees ended up purchasing that company for less than half of what they had it listed for, because they had a business broker really give them a false valuation. And 2, their books were not in order the way they should have been. But Ben, a franchisee of ours in Alabama, who was part of that purchase, he's been sending me listing after listing of these RV rental companies that are selling. And guess what happens? We pull up the information, and what do they have? They have a fleet of RVs that they own. They're running under that wrong business model, and again, unless you have the good exit strategy, and there's a lot of leeway if it's travel trailers, you're not as worried when there's an engine and stuff like that, but still, why even take the risk? Last time I looked up the stat, it was over 12 million RVs sitting around doing nothing. I'm sure that number has grown. Why take the risk of doing that when you could literally be a blessing to someone else, help them cover their payments and maybe make some money and run a business model that way,
Yeah.
So.
And just to look at like kind of the other side of it, like when I sold my franchise, it was the beginning of 2023. I had 15 units under management. I had the bookings for the upcoming season, and I was able to sell that, and the person buying it had no overhead coming with that business. It was just pure profit. So, you're setting yourself up for the exit strategy, like you mentioned, because you don't have all of those payments that someone else has to take over.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that was one of the big factors that attracted us to this company was their database. Really, they had a couple huge contracts that were literally a couple $100,000 rentals a piece. They had a Facebook group with over 40,000 members in it. So really what we were purchasing more for them was their database and their contracts than their business, their inventory. So yeah, that's a great thing to keep in mind is, the value that you get and something like that. You're getting the value of a data, just like, insurance companies, different companies sell, they're buying a database of customers or buying, there's no tangible assets. You're buying information, which they say that's one of the biggest purchases that are done out there between large companies is just buying information, buying data. Like your wealth is in your database. We've talked about this on other episodes. That's why it's so important when you have customers come in, get them plugged into your Facebook group or on some sort of newsletter or something, build your database, because really when you're doing that, you're building your value of your business overall.
Yeah, I think that is a great note to end on. We've shared our exciting news, some actionable tips of how people can protect themselves in their business. So any last words of wisdom?
Just want to encourage you again. I don't know. I'm just feeling this, that I just want to share. Have your eyes open, look around you. There is opportunity everywhere. Okay. I know we're going into this election and there's this doom and gloom and all these people freaking out about stuff. These are the times where people actually become rich or the rich become richer. When everyone else is freaking out, that's when you go out, take massive action, take a chance, do the hard things, and you step out on the other side of it wealthy because everyone else is in fear. So that's my ending thought. Screw fear, walk in faith, do some hard things, build a massive business. All right, y'all. We'll see you on the next episode.
See you later.